It's been 20 years since the Government of Canada decided to recognize and celebrate Black History Month. And in 2016, the Honorable Jean Augustine is at the center of the launch of this annual event. Ms. Augustine became in 1993 the first woman of African descent elected to the Canadian Parliament. She sponsored the motion in the House of Commons establishing this commemorative month. Her initiative has allowed more Canadians of African descent to be recognized for their contributions to our nation.
It's a pleasure and an honor for me to be invited to this launch marking Black History Month in Canada and marking the 20th anniversary of Black History Month. It was important for me to have my colleagues in the Parliament of Canada recognize this, but I had no idea that it would swell into what it is today, le grand affaire everywhere.
It's important to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Black History Month because it's part of our history, and it's also it's at core of what we are as Canadians. And certainly the Black community has done an amazing contribution to our society, continues to do so, and of course it's all part of our identity and our multiculturalism.
You can hold how it feels to me.
The roots of Black History Month in Canada can be found south of the border and date as far back as 1926, when the Association for the Study of African American Life and History held the National Negro History Week. The association chose the second week of February because it coincides with the birthdays of two important figures of Black emancipation in the United States: President Abraham Lincoln, who was born on February the 12th, 1809, and Black emancipation activist Frederick Douglass, born on February 14th, 1818. These two dates had been celebrated by the Black community since the late 19th century. Black history commemorations started to spread across the United States, and in 1976, Gerald Ford became the first American president to mark the event. In Canada, the city of Toronto was the first jurisdiction to formally proclaim Black History Month in 1979.
I think it's very important, given the history of our country and the fact that when I was a kid in school, we didn't learn the history of the Black community in my province of Nova Scotia, which is a tremendous history. Parts of it, of course, are horrible in the way people were treated, but there are many parts of it that all of us can be proud of and should be proud of. And I think it's important that very important that it be included in people's education for all Canadians.
For all Canadians, but more importantly for young Black Canadians who are in dire need for role models past and present. One of those present-day role models is Carla Etienne. She sees dance as a way for young people to affirm their identity.
Dance, for me, is a privileged art to celebrate Black History Month, but to celebrate dignity of the Black person, and I would like to see more Afro-descent person, which is relating more to culture, because when we dance, we stand, we exist, and we are proud of our identity.
Your Black experience is part of the Canadian experience and goes all the way back to predates the founding of this nation we call Canada today. You have no idea what a feeling of empowerment that is, and young people growing up, young people of all colors. It's so much easier to be inclusive and accepting. Not tolerant, accepting.
Once again this year, there will be many occasions for all Canadians to learn more about the people of African descent who made history in Canada.